my spooky crew, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time here. My name is Alex, and thanks for coming to my spooky corner of the internet. So for today's topic, this week's topic, I wanted to cover something a little bit controversial, but this is something you're going to hear all over the paranormal community, and maybe even on TV sometimes, that there are no experts in the paranormal. And this is an often discussed topic, especially when, TV shows tout their stars as paranormal experts, as well as social media or even like convention promo or television promo where someone is described as a expert in the paranormal. I mean, even I've been described as a paranormal expert by like news crews, even for like public events. And when I do see that, I kind of cringe a little bit, not necessarily because of my personal beliefs, but because of how someone else may react if they happen to see my bio or see my TV spot. But what do I believe about the whole idea of an expert in the paranormal? Well, we're gonna dive into that right now. But before we get started, be sure to click on that subscribe button, give this video a like, and be sure to click on that notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload a new video. And if you enjoy spooky content, ghost hunting tips, investigation stories, and all that good stuff, then head on over to my website at thespookystuff.com. All right, let's get started. Okay, so here is my controversial view of the whole idea of experts in the paranormal. I say yes. Now, do I believe there are experts in like ghosts? Meaning like we know what a ghost is and we've been able to study it and X, Y, and Z. No, I don't believe there are experts in the unknown, if that makes sense. However, I do believe there are experts in the paranormal field, meaning there are people who come into the field with specialties and expertise and training in certain areas that we use in the paranormal. The most obvious example is going to be a photographer. There are experts in photography. There are experts in knowing like how a camera works, how it captures light, and the anomalies that people pick up in photos. They can immediately identify them as dust, bugs, moisture, and they can tell you exactly how the camera captures that. There are experts in audio engineering and videography. There are experts in so many different areas that we need to start listening to. And that's the problem in the paranormal. People will immediately dismiss experts in photography, experts in video as, oh, we don't know what a ghost is made of and you can't be an expert in the unknown. Okay, but there are experts who do know how the camera creates that effect. Another one that I'm thinking of are psychologists and psychiatrists. There are people who will claim that they're being possessed by demons, and then a mental health expert will step in and say, no, actually, you should probably explore this condition or this phenomena. And someone will say, no, you're not an expert in demonology, so I'm not going to listen to you. Okay, but there is a relationship between mental health issues and, possession, exorcism, demonology, and that whole world. Folklore is another area of expertise where we do have experts in different types of folklore in different cultures. Again, we need to listen to these people who have gone to school and spent all those hours in studying a certain field of interest, and then they come in offering their expertise. It's like, okay, yeah, we need to listen to them. There are so many people in the paranormal community with different types of expertise and who are experts in different areas that have a lot to offer to us, especially in the world of ghost hunting. They can help us better engage with spirits, or at least help us enable a better conversation with spirits, if we go upon the idea that spirits are real. And honestly, when you look at ghost hunting from a social perspective, a lot of it doesn't really make sense, especially if you don't bring in different types of context into the investigation. And also, here's the thing, like, we all don't know everything. Like, there are times where I'm like, I really can't, I know that this video that I'm looking at. I know it's been staged, but I can't explain how it's been staged. So I would send that video to maybe a friend of mine who is an expert as a magician and knows how to create these special effects. I mean, they worked in a Disney park and creating like, those, the rides and everything. So I'm like, okay, well, this person would know how to create these type of special effects. They're an expert and they're also into the paranormal. So I'll send a video and say, hey, how would you recreate this? Or do you think it's real? And they'll send me back their feedback and say, actually, yeah, I can see there's a mechanism in the drawer and that's what's making it open and close by itself. I see fishing line in the upper right-hand corner, and it's amazing. So we need to start consulting more experts in the paranormal because we're missing out on so many opportunities to learn more about this field. By the way, I'm totally going unscripted, so this video may be a bit of a mess. Yeah, there's a lot of things happening here. What really disappoints me in the paranormal community is that there are a lot of people who are willing to stay in their boxes of ignorance, if that makes sense, meaning that they are not interested in consulting experts. A lot of it's because they're afraid they're going to be debunked, but also they will heavily discourage and disregard education. Now, there are some online paranormal classes that are kind of just be very weary of any sort of like online classes for paranormal stuff, especially if they're offering a certification. There is no like official certification that really exists in the paranormal that people respect. I know that the Ryan Research Center, I think, is working on a certification program, and I think MUFON has a certification program. Those institutions I do respect. So if someone says, hey, I've been taking classes at the Rhine, especially from Lloyd Auerbach, oh yeah, 100%, it's legit. Now, I would classify Lloyd Auerbach as an expert in the paranormal. I mean, the man has a Master of Science in parapsychology. When the field of parapsychology was an academic study, I think it was like during the 80s and 90s and whatnot. We need to listen to him, and he's written several books about the paranormal. It's one of those things where we do have knowledge at the tips of our fingers here. So I would say if you want to consult experts in the paranormal, definitely have like a circle of experts, especially if you want to become a better investigator. You want a historian. One of the members of my team has her master's in history, and she knows how to do research way better than I do. Like, holy cow, she can pull up some information that I couldn't even fathom like pulling up because I don't know. She's a great resource. There's experts in psychology, psychiatry. I mentioned folklore earlier, legends, different types of cultures. If I needed more information about, the chupacabra, the chupacabra, is Latin American based. I would go to an expert in Latin American studies and ask more about the chupacabra. So you want to keep it within the context. Like, I wouldn't really listen to experts on Facebook unless they were able to prove their credentials, so to speak. I have an expert in photography that I go to when I do catch something weird, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have my friend look at this, and he's gonna give me his honest feedback. What was funny was he wasn't initially interested in the paranormal, but after I started sending him stuff, he became interested in the paranormal, and he's actually my go-to person now for debunking things, because I don't know everything, and there are still some crazy things that the camera can do that I had no idea that it could do. Videography, the way that the camera captures motion, it's an amazing science, but I don't have the time to, get a degree in film. So I'm going to talk to people that I know who are experts in film and, the way things are shot and everything, because they're a resource. So definitely audio, video, mental health, history, genealogy. Genealogy is a great one. And also you want to have an expert in your circle who really knows how to pay attention to like the way people interact, social interactions and whatnot. Here's an example of a really good expert to leverage. It's Dr. Rachel Ironside, and she has her PhD in sociology, and she is a lecturer at Robert Gordon University, and she actually lectures on like events management. And she's really has an interest in like storytelling and folklore and supernatural events, and studies how people react to supernatural events, especially in a group, like in a collective group. And she just released a book called Making Sense of the Paranormal, and I think it's actually a textbook, so it might be a little bit pricey. So she co-wrote it with Robin Woofet? I hope I'm saying this right. So here's a description of the book that I found to be really interesting. This book is a study of how people collaboratively interpret events or experiences as having paranormal features or as evidence of spiritual agency. The authors study recordings of paranormal research groups as they conduct real-life investigations into allegedly haunted spaces, and the analysis describe how, through their talk and embodied actions, participants collaboratively negotiate the paranormal status of the events they experience. And there's more to the description here, but this is very important to know. Like, we need to understand how we react to events and then interpret them as paranormal. So this is why we really need to start leveraging experts and acknowledging that there are experts in the paranormal field. So this, yeah, it's a textbook. It's, going to cost about $70 if you want like a hard copy of it, but it looks like it's about $55 if you want to get it online. This is why we need to start doing a bit more research. I find the whole "there are no experts in the paranormal" is a cop-out excuse to not wanting to learn more and not wanting to study the paranormal more. And it's a bit frustrating because I feel like if more investigators really took research and study seriously, we could really do some great work. But I find a lot of people are just interested in, having their equipment go off with the blinking lights and then go speak to the dark for 8 hours and then go home, interpret that data, pack up and everything. It's same, but the cycle just continues to repeat itself. Nothing changes in the field, and that's probably one of the most frustrating things about the paranormal community. And I think acknowledging experts kind of can be a sore spot for some people because that would be some motivation to do a bit more, to do more in this field. Let's do a little more than just going to these places, setting up our equipment, sitting in the dark, hoping for a spooky experience, and then packing up, going home, reviewing the data. That's it. A, B, A, B, A, B. Let's start adding ABC. Let's add something a little bit more here. And there are some brilliant people in the paranormal community who do know a lot. And I wish that they felt like safe enough to come out with their knowledge. Because that's another thing I've learned is, the people who I would consider experts in the field, they don't want to come out with what they know because they'll get people coming back at them saying that they don't know what they talking about when they have a PhD in the study that they're discussing, and it just kind of blows my mind a bit. So yeah, this is a shorter video, just me being on a soapbox and ranting, because yes, there are no experts in the unknown of what we can't figure out yet, but there are experts who know so much that are in the paranormal community, and they're ready and willing to share what they know. We just have to basically extend our hand and take it. If you enjoyed this video, then feel free to share this with your friends and family who also enjoy the spooky stuff. Tell me what you think. Do you think that there are experts in the paranormal? Let me know in the comments, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next round.